Welcome to The Dogs Were Good Again. I appreciate everyone embracing this show as we hone in on exactly what it should be. All your feedback has been very much appreciated. And I think we're going to try out a new template for today. We are going to introduce our very special adoptable guest. I'm going to go over some Pupdates, not only for our previous adoptable guests, but also like in the world of dog news from things we've discussed previously. We have an interview today with someone I'm very excited to talk to. I got to meet recently and really is doing some important work, and I'm very excited to share all of that with you. I think we're going to frequently do some interviews, whether it be with an important person in our space or just an expert on something that is dog related. And then we'll end with some of the highlights in this week's dog news. So if that sounds good, we'll get started.
Oh, that looks like a good dog. That's a good dog. Yeah, that looks like a good dog. A very good dog.
Please join me in welcoming Rosalina. Hey girl, come here. Come here. Hi. Where are you going? Oh, she smells the treats. We may have already given her one. Hi. How's it going? You can explore. You can do whatever you want. What's up? Can I tell them about you? What are you looking for? I heard she was very, very good on the car ride over here. So Rosalina is a 3-year-old pocket pitty, which just means she's a little small for a pit bull, from Wags and Walks. She's just 38 pounds. She's been in the rescue's care for over 300 days. I think that's second place to Hannah Banana's long stay, but she's in a foster family, and Rosalina here is just in the care of Wags and Walks, the rescue. They say she's never met a person she didn't love. What are you looking at? What are you looking at? Do you want to sit? Where are you going? Do you want another one? That's just the lid. You can't just have the lid. They say she's never met a person she didn't love. She is wonderful with kids of all ages. That's just the lid. That's just the lid. See? I'm going to shut this so they can see your good sit. Look at that. She's very velvety. Very velvety. She walks great on a leash and is potty and crate trained. She needs to be the only limitation is she needs to be the only dog in the home. She's working on some insecurities with other dogs. She'd be looking for someone who can work on that and continue to progress with her. Her adoption fee is covered by Scott and Carrie Morath. So let's give them a round of applause. That's why I shouldn't have taken her little leash off. Come here. Hi. Hello. Hello. Yeah, they're in there. They're in there. This was the message that Scott sent us. This adoption fee is dedicated to two of the greatest loves in Scott's life. First, to his wife, Carrie, lovingly nicknamed Bird, as a special birthday tribute. Happy birthday, Carrie. And second, to Hank, their beloved Chiweenie. I don't think we have a picture of Hank, tragically. Hank is affectionately known as Mr. Handsome. He passed away a few years ago, but remains forever in their hearts. Though Scott and Carrie know they will one day welcome another furry companion, today they are overjoyed to give another loving family the opportunity to bring home their newest family member. He says, happy birthday, Carrie, again. That is very, very sweet. Scott and Carrie, removing one more barrier for Rosalina. Thank you so much. If you'd like to sponsor a future special guest adoption fee, you can email podcast@weratedogs.com and get in line. That's just your leash. That's just your leash. Hi. Hello. 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 Good girl. How's it going? Your bed's over here. Come here. Hi. Do you have something to say? Do you have something you'd like to say? Come here. Over here. This is a nice, comfy bed. All right, I've got some Pupdates. They're all exciting. First of all, Jenny from our Best Western campaign has been adopted, which is incredible. Yeah, we can clap it up again. She is 16 years old at Frosted Faces here in California. She's the dog that Taylor and I took on a frosted field trip back in June, and she was just the sweetest, and I wanted to take her home, but Frank and Judy Sprinkle beat me to it. So Jenny is her full name is Jenny Sparks, and so Frosted Faces said, Jenny Sparks is getting adopted. Thanks to We Rate Dogs for the extra exposure and taking Jenny on a fun frosted field trip. Jenny Sparks is now Jenny Sprinkle. Don't you love that? Family is Frank and Judy Sprinkle. And that is her with Judy. Congratulations, Jenny. That is incredible. Frosted Face is doing wonderful work, and I'm very glad that Jenny has her forever home. All right, my other Pupdate is that we got to work officially with Snoopy, and that's this might be the pinnacle of my career. We partnered with Apple TV to share that Snoopy and Friends have a new summer musical, and it's out on Apple TV Plus. I've got a Snoopy tattoo. And this was cool. And then the official Snoopygrams account, the official account on Instagram of Snoopy, all things Snoopy, collaborated on it with us. And that's just unreal. See their name up there, Snoopygrams. And it's gorgeous. The new special is gorgeous. So if you haven't watched it already, go watch it. And then finally, my last Pupdate is that some of you may know that I've been running another account in addition to We Rate Dogs since like 2017. I literally write from the perspective of a dog. It was very fun on Twitter. Twitter is no longer very fun, so we've had to figure out ways to put it on other platforms. And our solution was illustrations, little comics. We're working with a wonderful artist named Joyce, and I want to share some of our recent illustrations that have done pretty well and are kind of reestablishing this account online. We're only posting on Instagram and Facebook at the moment. We don't really have a desire to be anywhere else. But yeah, some recent ones. And you may recognize these are old viral posts of this account, just reimagined in illustrative form. So yeah, this is, I found the perfect spot in the yard where the sun shines through the trees and toasts me like a marshmallow. Just a sweet one. And then this one actually is fresh for the illustration. This didn't exist other than in this form. So this is, if the human didn't want me playing on their little phone or sending emails on their behalf, they should not have used my name for all their passwords. And then the most recent one that did very well and hopefully is recapturing all of the early fans that we had of this account. The human says there are two options, inside or outside, but if they would simply elevate their mindset, they would uncover a third option, stand in the doorway and sniff the air. So we're on Instagram and Facebook. On Instagram, it's going to be dog_feelings IG, and on Facebook, it is Thoughts of Dog. Just make sure you don't, it's an account and not a page on Facebook. I think there's a page that like people can post anything to it. And then there's our official Thoughts of Dog account. And I think you should be able to quickly notice the difference. My final Pupdate before we get into our interview is on Bam Bam. I'm sure many of you all are familiar with Bam Bam's story already. But if you're not, I'm going to give you a brief recap and then tell you where we're at with Bam Bam. So Bam Bam, seen here, is a 14-year-old service dog for his blind owner, Angel Santiago. As many of you probably know, he was taken from his Chicago yard the night of June 5th. Angel never gave up searching for him. He walked 7 miles a day at one point, handing out flyers. He said, "Let your eyes be mine," in an interview, which is partially responsible for Bam Bam's story going viral. Last week, an unidentified man and woman dropped Bam Bam off at Chicago's 16th Police District Station. The investigation into his theft is ongoing. For now, Bam Bam is okay, safe and sound, reunited with Angel. He had some additional vet appointments. Thankfully, Angel had a campaign going with this, a GoFundMe campaign that raised a ton of money to further these search efforts, and he will now be using that money to make sure Bam Bam has everything he needs in the form of medical care, as well as a new bed, some toys, and to, quote, spoil him a bit, which I think is well-deserved. The rest of the money will be used to pay it forward for another blind person, likely buying navigation walking sticks. So a happy ending for Bam Bam. This is a story that kind of captivated everybody, and yeah, thankfully it has a happy ending. Let me just show some photos of this reunification. This is Angel and Bam Bam together again. Together again. Let me make sure I got all these. Look at Bam Bam. Look at that high step. He's back. He does need a nail trim, but he's back. So I am thrilled to be joined by Stephen Knight, the CEO of Dogs Matter. Dogs Matter provides temporary foster care for dogs whose humans are in rehab. The concern over what would happen to their dog often creates a significant barrier between people and the help that they need. Dogs Matter has helped over 1,500 dogs and their humans on their journey from rescue to rehab to reunion. The dogs are signed over to Dogs Matter and placed in a foster home for a temporary period of 30 to 90 days until their humans are ready to care for them full-time again. Stephen Knight was CNN's Hero of the Year in 2024. The award recognizes everyday people making extraordinary contributions to their communities and the world. So very, very well deserved in this case. In their interview, Stephen described what they do as providing free temporary fostering services for people who are ready to change their lives. So sorry, Rosalina is ripping farts over here. It is on another level. I have to mention it because I couldn't continue without doing so. So what a segue. Stephen, thank you so much for being here. Thrilled to have you. Could you tell me who's on your lap?
So I want to first introduce you to...
Oh, I'm so sorry. So sorry, Stephen. Rosalina was drinking and we paused when the dogs are drinking for a little ASMR section, but she only took a brief drink, so we didn't really get it. So sorry to interrupt. Do you mind telling me who's on your lap?
So who is on my lap is Jade with a Y, Jayde, and she is the reason why I started Dogs Matter. I adopted her when she was 3. She's going to be 18 in November.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I got her when I was 8 months sober, and I was really struggling in my first year of recovery. And I got a knock on the door, and I was living in a sober living place where everybody's a sober community, and we're there for each other. And a friend of mine had relapsed, and got a knock on the door, and I saw this little face here at the door, and she really changed my life in a very profound way. It's why I started Dogs Matter. I got the idea. My friend needed to go to rehab. She didn't have any place to place her dog. For me, it was more like I needed something. I was struggling. I was lonely. The first year of sobriety can be very lonely. I was kind of empty inside, I'll say, and trying to discover what my purpose is going to be. What am I going to do? I'm 51 years old. I'm just now getting sober. What am I going to do the rest of my life? And when I saw her, she automatically gave me purpose and responsibility and structure, and she's my everything. So yeah, I've had her for 14 years now, and she's my everything. That's incredible. What a wonderful life. 18. Yeah. Wow. 18. Still going. She goes to work with me every day. She's a therapy dog. She goes around I have a therapy group, and she goes around to every individual and checks in with them every morning, and she's got a great life. I believe it. Stephen, could you tell me, or could you elaborate a little bit on how Dogs Matter works? What is the process? So the process is that when somebody makes that brave decision that they need to go to treatment for addiction, and they don't have anywhere to place their pet, what we do is we step in and we provide that safety net, and we provide a safe home for the dog to go to. And what we do is we offer a contract to them. They'll sign a contract, and we do temporary fostering. So we have ownership of that dog temporarily until they go to treatment. And we state that we're going to take care of your dog, find a great place for them, get them healthy. And then we keep the dogs usually 30 to 90 days. And then they get out, and when they're healthy enough, we reunite. And I think that also is important to add in. We don't just stop there after the reunion, because I think that's when the work comes, when somebody gets out of rehab. Of course. They get their dog back, and kind of a whole new life. So we have this very unique, one of a kind wraparound aftercare program that we keep in touch, and we meet with them for 12 months afterwards, and we provide care for their dog. I'm putting Jade down for a second. She's like, I want to go down. She's like, she wants to go get her water, her treat. But so anyway, we provide services that were kind of the safety net again, and we provide. Each of them has a recovery coach, which is kind of a mentor and a case manager and a sponsor. I'm a therapist, so I'll do crisis counseling. We have process groups that we're able to really kind of, help them on their journey. And we provide medical, we provide pet deposits, even moving costs for them. We're trying to get them back on their feet, learn, and also teach them how to be better pet parents. We do a lot of workshops on how to take care of your pet and just kind of learn how to not just become self-sufficient, become a family again with your pet.
That's a very well-rounded approach. I feel like a lot of your success is because your attention to detail in all aspects of providing that care. That's pretty exceptional.
Yeah.
This is a problem that, is invisible to most of us. What made you see that this is a problem? And then, further than that, what motivated you to tackle it and find a solution?
I mean, I think that because I've been there, because I was in the trenches, I was suffering with addiction for decades. And I really became very hopeless and experienced what somebody goes through. I ended up homeless. I ended up living out of my car. I ended up losing my family. I ended up losing jobs, went bankrupt. I was just me and just me. I didn't even have a dog at that time. So I know what addiction's like. Now, what got me so excited is that when Jade came into my life at 8 months, she really provided healing for me. And I didn't realize how powerful the human animal bond is and how it can really become such a healing process. That's when I got the idea. It's like, not only do they need to, have a safe place for their pet to go. I mean, who wants to start their life over and have to surrender their dog? Mm-hmm. If you notice that most shelters, when you have to go to the shelter, they don't have temporary fostering. You have to surrender your dog, and you'll be put on a list that you're not able to adopt that dog again because you're labeled as a bad owner. So what happens is that that dog will, if they have to go to the shelter and surrender it, they'll never see that dog again. Mm-hmm. So who wants to start a life knowing that you're going to have to give up the one relationship that never gave up on you? So my thought was, why can't there be temporary fostering? Why can't we look at the human part of it and the issue instead of just taking the dog? But let's talk about what can we do to maybe keep them together, temporary foster the dog, let the human go and get the help that they need and come back. Every dog that we save and that we foster, it saves a dog going into a shelter. And we know how crowded the shelters are and the overcapacity. So it's such a trickling effect of us saving one dog and also the dog that comes to us, it's not coming from a shelter, so it's not spayed and neutered. Mm-hmm. It's not, so we're getting every dog spayed and neutered. So that's also saving, overcrowding in the shelters. So it's such a win-win situation. But I think that we have to look more on the issue of like the situation and not just be so easy to grab the dog and say, oh, you don't deserve this dog here. We'll take it and rehome it. Absolutely.
Yeah, we've had the opportunity on this show to talk a lot about how animal welfare is human welfare. And I think what made me so excited to talk to you today is that your organization really embodies that. You and I had the pleasure of meeting last month at a street vet clinic in LA. And that was just exceptional. I knew you had the same feelings that I did. We watched as a whole community living in subsidized housing received free vet care for their pets. I think we ended up being able to provide that for 39 pets, which is just wonderful. At the same time, it was a very stark reminder that this country loves a redemption story, but rarely focuses on helping create one. We often look down on those who are struggling or flawed, especially if they don't look like us. First, thank you for helping combat that narrative. And second, why do you think that dynamic exists?
Well, I think the dynamic exists is just because kind of where we're at as a society and how if it's not affecting us directly, we don't see it. Mm-hmm. It's so interesting because every time I tell people what we do, more than not, the answer is, I never thought about that.
Yep.
What a great idea. I never thought about that. And I'm like, because you never experienced anything like that, and I think that we have to be a little bit more, I think we lack empathy, and I think we lack the ability to give second chances, and I think that, in that event that we went to, that we met, it was such an amazing experience. And I wish society, we could have opened up the roof and people could have looked in, because you know what you would have saw? You would have saw some extremely well taken care of dogs that are loved so much. And these people and those dogs love those humans so much. They were well behaved. They were lovable. They got along. I mean, they got along better than my dogs do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was, I was blown away. I wasn't blown away, but I was so happy and proud to see that what I know these people are is not, you know, what happened to them is not who they are, right? Mm-hmm. They're loving people, that their dogs are everything to them, or their cat. And I just feel like that people could see these people, how much they love their animal and how much that animal loves them, then I think we'd have a different conversation here, and there would be more compassion and more solution.
Yeah, absolutely. I was excited to be able to recap that day. And I think I said that the only thing that these people lack is resources. They do not lack love and affection for their pets. They do not lack care for their pets. They simply lack resources. And that is often due to no fault of their own. So yeah, a wonderful experience. And I'm glad that we were able to open the roof off of it a little bit via social media, but nothing beats that firsthand experience, which I'm very grateful for.
Yeah.
I think the number, which you may have an updated number, was 1,500 dogs and their humans through that process. Is that still accurate? Where are you guys at?
No.
That was a long time ago.
That was when I first they first did a piece on me at CNN.
Okay.
You know, I got nominated for Hero of the Year. They did a piece on me, and at that point, we did the piece we'd done about 1,500. We're like 9 years old. We're up to about 2,400.
Wow. That's incredible.
In just a year and a half, and the piece came out. No, not even, I'm sorry, a year. Mm-hmm. We have grown so much. And we just continue to grow. So yeah, we're growing. I mean, we average 100% a year growing, and it's just, there's no slowing down. Yeah.
You've expanded slightly from Dallas, but maybe tell people where you're operating and maybe a little bit about what your plans are.
Sure. So right now we are located in Dallas. We're mobile, but we serve the whole state of Texas, which is basically another country.
Yeah.
So it's a lot. We do serve. Now at one point when I first did it, I tried to, because I got applications all over the country, and I was like trying to set up things, and it was just so much that I just had to focus on Texas. But however, winning CNN Hero of the Year got me introduced to Dr. Kwan, who has this pet Project Street Vet that you guys work with and support, and his team is just wonderful. And when I saw him and his program, I thought, wow, his mission is to go out and help the pet and without judgment, and be able to make these dogs and cats healthy. And my mission is to help the human and maybe get them more healthy and self-sufficient. Together, we could probably do a lot of good and save a lot of lives. So we got connected and we started talking, and it's like we felt like we could really set up a strong partnership. So I was out there in June, went to that event, and we also went on a outreach with Dr. Kwan and his team, and it just confirmed that so many people I was talking to and saying, I would love to get off the streets. I do need treatment, but I don't have anywhere to put my dog. And so what we're going to be doing starting probably January 2026, we were going to be in California.
Incredible.
Southern California, because the need is so huge. And I think that with the partnerships out there, there's the community, just us talking a little bit about it, you wouldn't believe the output of partnerships that come in, and the mayor's office has gotten a hold of us. We want you out here. So I'm just so excited about us being able to replicate what we do here in Dallas. Our goal is to put it in the Southern California, probably from LA down all the way to San Diego for now. But, my dream is that this needs to be everywhere. But I think, we're going to first start in Southern California.
That's very exciting. I'm very much looking forward to that. One thing, isn't it interesting how the mayor is like, welcome, please help us with your resources. And it's like, we have a system that's supposed to be the reverse of that. Like, we're supposed to be, I don't know. There's definitely more to that story, and I'm glad that it's been open arms for you. And I really hope that you see as much success here as you have in Texas. The 2,400 dogs is incredible. And again, when you consider the very well-rounded approach you all take to that is a huge number, because it's not just one aspect of one story. It's the full it's everything for each dog and human. Given all of that, do you happen to have a favorite reunion story? I know that's probably very difficult, but if you've got one, I'd love to hear about it.
I know. Well, yeah. You know what? Yes, I'm not gonna use the favorite one,
okay,
because I'm gonna use the one that probably has touched me or impacted me the most.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna do a little bit of backstory, if you don't mind, about this opportunity. So one of the questions that we ask on our application is, what would it mean for Dogs Matter to foster your dog? And last year I received a application from Egan and Remy being the pet, Egan being the owner. And I'm going to read you what his answer was for when I asked that question. And he said, look at words cannot express how much this dog means to me. I don't have children, but Remy is my child in my mind. I don't just keep him alive and well, but he truly has kept me alive in my darkest times. When I was first ordered to go to rehab, my first concern was that I was going to lose my baby. I have been there with him since the moment he was born. We would go see him every day until he turned 6 weeks. Then I took him home with me. I'm really his dad, and he is my son. I'm a lateral below the knee amputee, an addict with depression, and Remy makes my life a brighter place with a smile and his love. This gets me emotional every time I read it.
Yeah.
I would be devastated if I lost him. When I heard about your organization, it was a weight off of my shoulders and a sliver of hope brought into my life. I would be forever grateful if Remy was fostered while I was gone. So I'm not just asking, I am begging for you to accept my handsome love spud Remy while I complete this program to better and benefit the future, so I can give Remy and myself the best life possible.
Oh, wow. That's why you do it right there. I mean, that's
it. That's one of thousands of applications,
mm-hmm.
And anyway, so, and also just to add on to it, and I picked this one too, because Egan, the owner, he was addicted to fentanyl. He was dying out there, and he was trying to get up on his own. And this is August is National Overdose Awareness Month, and I think that it's so important to know that over 100,000 people overdose every year, and for some of them, the reason why they won't go into treatment is they don't want to leave their dogs, so they're playing Russian roulette every day.
Mm.
So when I got this and I found out that his drug of choice was fentanyl, I immediately called him and I said, "What can we do?" And he's like, he goes, "I'm sick right now. I'm detoxing. I don't want to use again, but I'm going to have to just so I don't get sick. And if I do, I'm afraid I could overdose." So within a day or so, I was able to get Remy. We got him immediately into detox, into treatment. He went to a 90-day program. He'd never been sober more than a few months. He was a young kid. And anyway, but he was struggling the first couple of weeks. And I remember sending him a video and a picture of Remy. And he said that just changed everything, because it gave him purpose and motivation to continue to fight the fight, because it's hard. It's hard. You know what I mean?
I'd never even considered that that part of not really your responsibility, but one tool in your toolkit while they're recovering is to provide those updates on how their dog is doing, like that. Because a lot of what we do is storytelling, and it's a lot with media and pictures and photos of dogs, and I just can't. That's so meaningful. It doesn't surprise me at all that that's what kept him going.
Yeah. There's so many times where that is, and a lot of times they'll want to leave treatment because it's too much, and they're beginning to feel their feelings. Yeah. And then they'll get a picture and video. And so he not just completed it. he got out. And we have a couple of pictures and videos of him that we'll give you. But the bottom line is that he got out. He got Remy back. He's thriving. The reunion was just so amazing that his if you just see them together, they are like father and son. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And anyway, so he is now over a year sober.
Oh, incredible.
He is married. He is went back to medical school to become a phlebotomist. He's going to have a career. Remy has always got a girlfriend. His wife had a dog, so now there's kind of this happy family. And he actually just won our Client of the Year. So that reunion and that story is so impacted me so much. Is that, you know, it's hard because sometimes it's too late. When somebody's ready to go to treatment because of the list of dogs we have, sometimes we don't get them right away. We've seen people overdose and die. You know, we've seen dogs having to go to the shelter because it was a time thing. And, so sometimes it can be very hard. But when you see something like this, it just makes all those hard times so well worth it. So that's one of my favorites.
That's incredible. Thank you so much for sharing. And not to underestimate the work that you all are doing, but it was just one barrier of what am I going to do with your dog, and now you're telling me where this person is in their life. It's such a stark difference. So not like, again, you know what I'm saying. It's not that it's small effort what you're doing, but it is just a tiny piece of their story. And as soon as they can check that box of where their dog is going to be after they've made that decision, look at where that person is.
Yeah, it's interesting because and the great thing about it is that not only does the dog go back to them, it becomes part of their healing, right? So we got data now that shows that people that can keep their dog and they don't have to give it up and go through our program and stay with us, about 70% of them are like Egan and Remy, and the Egan being sober for a year that can make it to the first year. The national average is about 35%. So think about that. Yeah. So I'm saying my message is that we need to formalize this more and make sure. I've talked to treatment centers saying you need to put the dog in the treatment plan about how to take care of it and how it's going to be. You need to be able to look at that. We're even now getting some of our treatment centers to take the dog, not have to really separate them. Sometimes they just need a break from each other, but there's other times where their service dog or an ESA dog that they could take their dog back. So my goal is to really formalize the fact that the power of healing can come through our pets. Absolutely.
Just fill me in on what the plans for Dogs Matter might be in the next year, and then your dream scenario in 5 years. What does it look like?
Okay, I'm so excited about the future because it's just like so much opportunity has come our way. And first of all, in a year we're going to be out in Southern California. We're going to be thriving there. And then our biggest one that I want to talk about for a second is that we're actually going to be starting a capital campaign at the end of the year for a facility. Now,
oh, incredible.
It's not just going to be a facility. It's going to be a state-of-the-art, one-of-a-kind, half human services, half animal services together in one building. So his example would be like, and I will tell you, I listened to one of your podcasts the other night, and you had a gentleman on that was from the San Diego Humane Society.
Yes.
That built this new kind of state-of-the-art, animal shelter, right?
Yeah.
I want to meet with him, first of all. You need to connect me.
Yep, I will.
I want what he has.
Just for people who missed that episode, basically San Diego Humane has angled habitats, and they reduce the overall noise level and the stress of the dogs so brilliantly that they've been able to prove, just their rates of adoption and the churn that goes through that shelter because of this environment. People who walk through are able to see the dogs in a calm in the calm lens instead of a typical shelter that you need earplugs when you first go in there. They've revolutionized it, and I'm so grateful to hear that that would be what you're aiming for.
Absolutely. We want to have that feeling where doesn't feel like a shelter, and the dogs are safe. But here's what it's going to make us stand out even more is that's only going to be part of it. You're going to be able to come into our building, and for half of it, you can come in and it'll be for human services. Do you need to go to treatment? Or is it mental health? Is it, for are you homeless? Whatever the situation is, you can take care of on this side. The dog will go to the other side, get assessed. Does it need to be updated? We're gonna have the human service part of it also be where we'll have 12-step meetings you can bring your pet with. We're gonna have a job training for our clients to become dog groomers and vet techs, and be able to really have a building in a place it's going to be very holistic, but also provide the means and the needs to make sure that we know that pets are family. And when there's a crisis, you don't have to go to 12 different places and try to get your pet over here and over there. You can come in and you can have it all done in one place, which includes your pet.
That's incredible, Stephen. That's wonderful, and I wish you the best of luck. And as always, you know where to find me for amplifying that and helping you get there. Speaking of that, what is the best way for people to support you and all the work that you do with Dogs Matter?
So there's a couple of things. Yeah. And I appreciate you asking me that, because it's so important to know that, our services are free, and that we also rely on volunteers. Like coming out to California, LA, I know you got a big community out there. We're going to be needing some foster families.
Absolutely.
So instead of maybe next time I come out there where we start, I'll bring a dog that doesn't necessarily need to be adopted, but maybe needs to be fostered, And I think that we foster families are the backbone of our program, and it's such an amazing experience, because it's a different type of fostering. This dog is not up for adoption. You don't have to do all that work. All you got to do is provide it at home. You get to be part of the journey, and when you see that reunion, it makes it so worth it. So that's part of it, And then I would love for people to follow us on our Instagram, Dogs Matter 2. And check to see how amazing our reunion videos are. And we're always looking for donations to help. It costs us about $1,500 per client to be able to give them what they need throughout our aftercare program. So my dog got excited. Come here. I have like 4 dogs right now, because this is why we need foster families. I can't do it all by myself. Zelda, come here. You say hi to one of them? This is
Hello. Lady. Who's that?
This is Lady.
Hi, Lady.
Right. But yes, go to our website, dogsmatter2.org. You can learn so much about how you can volunteer, how you can donate. I love, and I appreciate you so much having me on, because we are still that kind of little bit program that nobody knows about us. So join the mission. Check us out. We're on all the social media. We're on TikTok, and we would love to continue, to be a part of what you guys do. We're gonna also, hopefully, we're working on our application to be able to be part of your foundation and get some medical services for our dogs.
That'd be incredible. Don't worry, it's on the top of the pile. Yeah, of course. Fostering being the backbone of it it makes perfect sense. And if you're in the rescue space, you know that fostering is what changes lives. Adoptions are great, but fosters are allow a lot of the dogs to be initially taken in, and without that big commitment. So even if you're thinking before the timeline that Stephen's mentioning, if you're in LA, wherever you are, you're going to be able to find a shelter system or a rescue that could use your fostering. And Stephen, can't wait for you to be in LA. I can't wait to foster one of the Dogs Matter dogs.
Yay! Excited. Appreciate it.
Stephen, thank you so much for joining me today. We'll make sure everyone knows where to find you, and keep up the amazing work. This is one of the organizations that, just gets to me every time, because it is that perfect bond of animal and human welfare that, I think we're lacking these days.
Appreciate it, Matt. You guys are doing a great job too. We love seeing how you rate your dogs.
Thanks, Stephen. Take care.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye.
We've got 3 pieces of dog news that were highlights for me this week. that I'd like to go over. First up, we have Dallas. Dallas here was spotted in central Pennsylvania with a cheese ball jar stuck on her head. She was captured after a 2-day search involving multiple organizations and 2 drone pilots. Here's the video of them capturing her. At 3 a.m. in a cornfield, and again, multiple drone operators had to help spotlight her, and then she went to Canine Rescue of Central Pennsylvania, where they were able to take off that cheese ball jar and treat her for some minor medical needs. There she is again. She was named Dallas in honor of one of the drone pilots, Dallas Furman. Like I said, she was taken in by Canine Rescue of Central Pennsylvania. She was severely dehydrated, engorged with ticks, and clearly in distress. Wouldn't you be if you had a cheese ball jar stuck on your head for several days? Dallas is now beginning her recovery. The rescue said the vet called her resilient, and considering all she's been through, her blood work looks pretty good. Dallas's medical bills are estimated to be around $3,500. This is the fun part. In the middle of an interview with WGAL News, the rescue got an email that Bickles, the maker of the cheese balls, will be covering those costs and sending her a gift bag of cheese ball toys. Here's the moment that they found this out. This is Bickles, by the way. Those are the cheese balls at fault. This is when they found out.
And while on our call, they found out some great news from the manager of Bickles Snack Food, which manufactures the cheese ball jar that was stuck on Dallas's head.
They want to cover all costs and will give her a gift bag of cheese balls. But they said in a bag and not a barrel. Yeah.
Important clarification, so the same thing does not happen again. Great story, and just a wonderful twist with the cheese ball company coming in at the end, and as they should, covering those costs. Good for Dallas. I believe she is available for adoption through Canine Rescue of Central Pennsylvania. We may be late to that, though. She may have already been adopted. This is the heavy one for today. Not that the interview wasn't a little heavy, but this one's involved. Hey, Rosalina, how's it going? Hey, just doing a little lap. She thought about it. All right, next up we have a story about masked assailants who go by ICE deliberately unclipping a dog's collar from their leash as they kidnapped the child who was walking them. This is Benjamin Marcelo Guerrero-Cruz. He was about to be a senior at Reseda High School here in LA. He was kidnapped off the street while walking his family dog one morning in early August. He turned 18 just a week before his kidnapping. They tied his dog to a tree and then deliberately unclipped the collar off of them. They ran loose on Sepulveda Boulevard. Based on the rest of the information we have about this story, we can assume that the dog was wrangled by bystanders and eventually reunited with the family, but that is not confirmed. That's just kind of the vibe I get from the rest, the other information that I have. The kidnappers joked while they arrested him that thanks to him, they get to drink this weekend, laughing about the $2,500 they just secured by arresting Benjamin. It has been long assumed that there is a bounty on the head of every brown person. Since we no longer have due process, it does not matter if you are an American citizen or not. You will not have the opportunity to prove that you are an American citizen. His GoFundMe, which we'll leave in the description, says he is more than just a student. He is a devoted son, a caring brother, a loyal friend, and a valued member of our community. He carries a tremendous amount of responsibility at home, helping care for his 5-month-old twin brothers and his 6-year-old brother. He is a good student with a kind heart who has always stepped in for his family. I think we have a picture of him with one of his siblings. Even if he was none of the things that I just mentioned, you should be equally appalled at this story. One of his former teachers, Liz Becerra, visited Guerrero-Cruz at an ICE processing center in Adelanto, an hour and a half north of LA. She spoke at a rally in support of Benjamin and relayed a harrowing tale of being surrounded by masked men while walking his dog, handed over to federal agents, and then brought to the Metropolitan Detention Center in downtown LA. He was not allowed to shower or brush his teeth for a week. Now he is in Adelanto, where he told Becerra he is in a small cell with about 24 other men with little access to food and water. One article quotes that they are allowed to drink once a day. for the inevitable, you should really stick to dogs. I'm pretty sure there was a dog in that story. And if you somehow can't find it within yourself to give a shit about Benjamin, maybe you're welcome to be just as angry about the treatment of that dog. I'll also remind you that the individuals who have been forcibly deported or have chosen to self-deport, the dogs of those people also wind up in shelters. They are furthering an existing shelter crisis across the country. These issues are intertwined, and you cannot pick and choose which you care about and still masquerade as a good person. Sorry, now I'm all pissed. Now I'm all riled up. But I've got a fun story to end on, and it's a good one. This is your emotional whiplash. This is Dingo. Yes, that is a full mannequin he is sitting on. All right, Dingo. This is from a Facebook post from a woman named Janelle Grace. She writes, "My 800-year-old Chihuahua Dingo is obsessed with sitting on or near people to where he gets stress diarrhea if he doesn't have a lap available." Okay. Meet Bob Jr., a life-size stuffed Halloween dummy. He is wearing an extra set of my dad's clothes that I had my dad pre-wear for a few hours to season them. Season is in quotes, don't worry. My dad is Bob, so it only made sense to call his stand-in Bob Jr. I set Dingo on him when he arrived, and he immediately settled in for a multi-hour nap. It is both ridiculous and hilarious. And I agree. But you got to do what you got to do. And shout out to Janelle and Bob for this very unique but brilliant solution to their dog's anxiety. As a reminder, this sweet pitty, Rosalina, is available for adoption from Wags and Walks here in LA. Adoption fee covered. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but she's got the cutest little freckle on her bottom lip. And she's just delightful. And she's so small for a pitty. She's bite-sized and very portable. I heard she did phenomenally on the car ride over here, which I never thought you wouldn't. But it's good to get that validation. And yeah, she's almost 4 years old and she's great. And I think you should adopt her as soon as possible. She's spent over 300 days in the care of Wags and Walks since she was rescued. And that's too many. I would like for your next 300 days, look at me right here. Your next 300 days on a couch somewhere. Okay. Sound good? Okay. Her link will be in our description, as always, as well as all the other special guests from previous episodes. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and if you're listening to this, add us to your playlist on Apple or Spotify. It really helps you out. And of course, all feedback appreciated. We kind of stuck to a little template this week, and if you like it, we'll keep doing it. See you next time.
Oh, that looks like a good dog. That's a good dog. Yeah, that looks like a good dog.